when Laura sent us the yeast, it didn't have a name yet, but we knew it was like Cosmic Punch on steroids, so we started calling it Nuclear Punch. Helio Gazer is an awesome yeast. It's going to give you a multitude more thiolizing power that Cosmic Punch has.
One of the things we get out of Helio Gazer is not only the raw character of thiol that we've already experienced with Cosmic Punch or with Star Party, but a depth of character to it. The hardest thing for me to describe people is what really thiol tastes like. I tend to default to words like grapefruit and currant and tropical notes from passion fruit, but it's way deeper than that. Even if we made an IPA that was straight fermented on grapefruit puree, we're not going to get the same sort of flavor complexity that you get off the thiol. The thiol just comes with so much more layers of pseudo-stone fruit and grapefruit zest and citrus character to it, and find certain layers of flavor in that and be able to utilize additional hopping doses on it to kind of pull those other flavors out as well to make the depth of the charge of the thiol something even more complex.
We've done a bunch of pilot stuff with some of the mega yeast, but really the first one we went big on was a collaboration with Other Half. We call it Thiol and Air, which is a little tongue-in-cheek, but I think speaks to the trial and error methods that we're doing with not knowing how these yeasts work. We just weren't quite sure exactly how to express itself. Being a collaboration and working with Other Half, we just kind of threw everything at this beer to really maximize the thiol potential. We took the massive hop load that normally you do in the dry hop and really moved it to the front of the process, using it in the mash and a little bit of that as well in the whirlpool to kind of maximize, hopefully, the extractions of some of those precursors up front so that the yeast could do its job, free those bound thiols during fermentation so it'd be present at the end of that cycle of the beer.
Cosmic Punch was the first one that we played around with a couple of different batches, and the first time we used Cosmic Punch, I was shocked at the grapefruit note that we got from it. But since using Star Party, which is still using the same sort of thiol expression gene that Helio Gazer is having, it almost seems double that. So I'm really looking for a massive ripe grapefruit zest character that's going to come out of Helio Gazer and hold that really nice hazy characteristic to it and really utilize any additional dry hopping that we're going to do. I'm really excited to just see a hazy that will taste like you fermented on grapefruit peel, and know that has some of the least amount of hops that we've done on any of our hazies, and yet it's the most pungent and it's the most fruity smelling of all of them.
Normally, you'd be talking about this huge dry hop load. We're gonna do all these weird hop blends. And on this beer, it's kind of like, let's let the hops take more of a backseat and focus more on the yeast and what it can actually produce. We were tasting it all throughout fermentation, and it's crazy how the flavor profile changed just during fermentation itself from the beginning to the end. And kind of in the middle is this huge, weird passion fruit dank note, and then it was almost too intense, but as it dropped off and hit terminal gravity, it mellowed out into this really wonderful like passion fruit guava, and it was just really awesome. It perfectly hit the unique but drinkable kind of Venn diagram, if you will, in terms of how it worked.
As much as I'm excited about thiols, as much as I love them as a new flavor concept, they're not always the thing that you want to be the centerpiece. So if you wanted to go and have thiol be a very major factor that you could definitely tell is in the beer, but you didn't want it to overwhelm the final product, you could definitely go with Cosmic Punch, get a great hazy out of it, has an assertive thiol character to it as well, but you can kind of keep it in check a little bit. But if you really want to anchor down that thiol character, then Helio Gazer is a no-brainer.